Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. In this video I'm going to be working on this image. These are snowdrops I took quite a while ago now, and I just think I wanted to produce something different. So I thought what I'd do is I'd apply a bit of Gaussian Blur and turn it into this image, which I think looks rather nice. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to apply some Gaussian Blur. So let's get started. Okay, first of all I'm going to make a copy. So let's go to Image, Duplicate, and I think we'll call it Blurred Background. Say OK to that. I'll pull that across there. So now what we'll do is we'll go to Filter, go to Blur, Gaussian Blur, and I'm going to put it on something like, let's type it in, 160. I think that'll do. So I think what we'll do is now we'll save this. We'll save the blurred background. Save as. And what I'll do is I'll just save it to my desktop. I'll save it as a JPEG, I think. Doesn't need to be a Photoshop file. So save it to the desktop. And let's just say save. Baseline. And then what we're going to do now is we're going to move it onto the original image. So have your blurred background highlighted, click the move tool and drag it, hold your mouse button down and drag the background up to the original image. Bring it back down and release the mouse button. Okay, now at this point you can resize it. You can make it bigger, smaller, but in this case I want it to exactly fit the image underneath. So we're going to say OK to that one. Now what we can also do is we can save this, we can rename this layer. So I'm going to call this the blurred background. Now I think what we'll do is we will lower the opacity on this layer so that we can see the image underneath. So if we take it down to around 85%, I'll type it in, 85%. So you can just see the image underneath. So you can see what you're going to be painting out. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put a mask on the blurred background. So we click the mask button down here. And there's our mask. We go over to here and we make sure we've got black and white. We need black. So make sure your foreground colour is black. If you want to switch, you've got the little arrow here that switches backwards and forwards. But we want the black so that we can bring the image underneath over the top of the blur background. Then I'm going to select brush. I do 50% opacity. Have a soft brush, 50% opacity, and look, it's changed colour. So what we need to do is make sure we're on black and white. So black, we're going to paint the image underneath through the blurred background. So here we go again. Brush, 50% opacity. And we need to make sure we're on the mask, otherwise nothing happens. So we'll start painting. So we'll do it at 50%. I like to do it in small increments first. And you can see the image is coming through. I'll go through some of this with you, but it takes a little while, especially if it's a bit of a complicated image. So what I'll do is I'll do some of it so you can get the idea of it, and then come back to another stage and you can have another look. But it depends on what sort of image you're doing as well, because if it's quite an intricate one, it takes quite a while. In fact, what I'll do is I will enlarge the image. That might be better, so you can see better. So here's what I'm doing, and now I'm going over this again. So this is going to be 100%, because if you look up there, it was 50. I've already gone over this once, so I'm going over it again. It'll reveal it 100%. You can keep changing your brush size, and if you go over, so say I went like that, okay, and I think, oh goodness, I've made a mistake. All you've got to do is switch to white, just make sure that's your foreground colour, and then paint it all back. As I say, if you make a mistake, you can paint it back in again. And depending on what you want to do, you can do 100% and bring it all through at once, but I just like to do it in increments. But don't forget to switch back to black so that you can bring the image underneath, and make sure you're always on your mask as well, because nothing will happen. So I'm going to carry on painting through this. This did take me quite a while, to be fair. So here I'm bringing it through 100%, because I've already been over this once. As I say, change the shape and the size of your brush to suit if you're going around a very, very narrow part of the flower. Hopefully you've got the idea. And I'll go up here. What I'll do is I'll paint this stem, bring that through. I'm only going to bring parts through. So I think what I'm trying to achieve is sort of a dreamy, misty look. And as I say, you can go over it and bring it 100% through, or you can just bring it 50%. And I also bring some of these out as well. I think you've probably got the idea. So let's try another flower. Let's do this one. And it's better really if you can sort of like make the image larger and you can see what you're doing. I do like this this way of masking. As I say, if it's an intricate image, it does take a little while, but it's worth it in the end. I'll bring some more through. I mean, you don't have to go right to the edges, but I might soften it up a bit later on. Let's just do the stem. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the video and I'm going to carry on painting some more out, and then I'll show you it when I've done some more. Let's do the stem. And I mean, you don't have to be absolutely perfect, especially for this, because it is sort of like, it's going to be a misty background. You're just showing bits of detail, that's all. Let's have another go on these leaves here. I'm not going to do all the leaves, I just want to show some coming through. Can be a bit distracting if you bring too much of the dark through. I'm going to stop the video here I'll carry on and do a bit more, and then I'll come back to you. Right, I've done a bit more, so I'm just doing the last flower. I'll quickly do this. Obviously, you know, I'm doing it quickly. You will take more time, but I think you've got the gist of it. Say, you can choose the size of your brush, choose how much you want to paint out, how much opacity you want on your brush. But I think this is, you don't have to be, on this particular image, you don't have to be that accurate, because it's quite a, I think it's quite a painterly, dreamy sort of effect that we've got here. The thing is as well, it doesn't suit every image, which I will show you afterwards. So that's that. Don't think we'll bring that one through. Having said that, I might bring that. Now let's do the stem on this particular flower. A small brush. Try and be as steady as you can. My hand tends to be a little bit shaky. And you know, it's up to you how much of the image you want to bring through, how strong you want it to be. So let's just have a look at it. Oh, that looks good. That looks really good. I think probably there's a few dark bits there, but I don't think that's too bad at all. Now let's have a look at the, so that's mine. I think what we'll do now is we'll put an adjustment layer on. So I'm going to go up to layer, adjustment layer, and levels. Let's say okay to that. So you can see there, there's quite a big gap there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring that down a bit. Might bring that in. That makes it dark, so I don't think I really want to do that, but I think that's lightened it up quite a bit. That's a lot better than it was. You can actually adjust the middle one, but maybe that's about it, I think. So I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make a new background layer. So I'm going to click on the background and I'm going to go to the plus, and that gives us a new background copy, because I think there's some dark areas here that might need just cloning out a bit or using the stamp tool. So let's have a look. So let's have a look at some of these darker areas. What I'll do is I'll take the patch tool. Let's just select that bit at the bottom there and move it to, yeah, that's better. So I'm going to highlight that bit there and move that over. Yeah, a lot better. Those were a bit distracting. There's a little bit there. Just move it to somewhere that looks very similar. It's a little bit there. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, that's a lot better. That looks pretty good. It's probably not going to be the same as the original one I did. There's probably going to be a slight difference, but not an awful lot. And as I say, you can keep bringing little bits through if you want to, because I've got some here as well, more bits that I brought through. I didn't bring any of that through. I think that looks quite good. So then you can save it wherever you want. You've got your blurred background saved. Save that in your background folder if you want to, as a, you know, you can use it for something else. And then save your main image, whatever you want to, as a JPEG or Photoshop or whatever. So before I go, I did say that I was going to show you a couple of images that I'd tried with this method. Let's have a look at this one. This was that was the original, and that was the one after I applied the blur, which probably could do with a bit more work, but I think it's just giving it that sort of like that depth to it as well, and bringing the stems out a bit more and leaving those in the background. I think that worked quite well. Another one, that was the original, and obviously I've got a brick wall there, which is not very attractive, so I tried this method and somehow that did not seem to work. So it doesn't work for every image, but I just thought I'd show you my attempts on other ones. I quite like that one. However, that probably needs a bit more work, but yeah, I think it's a good, I quite enjoyed doing that. So I hope you've enjoyed that and it's been useful. If you like the video, please give me a like. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe as well. So until the next time, I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye for now.